quarter 20, 8 by 125. What do all these numbers mean? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you the difference between a standard bolt and a metric bolt and how easy it is to tell the difference. Welcome back to Faro Iron and Customs. This is Michael, and today we're talking about standard and metric bolts and how easy it is to tell the difference. I've been in several situations lately where people are like, well, I don't know if this is standard, I don't know if this is metric. Guys, this is super simple. Unless you've got a bolt that's like a grade 3 or lower, like this one. Focus, and it's not going to focus on it. But it has no grade on it. You can't tell about those without actually measuring. But I'm gonna set the camera down here where you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so to start with, see how well the camera sees that. This is a standard bolt. It has the grades are indicated by lines. This happens to be a grade 8 bolt. It is fine threaded. I think on a 3/4 that is should be the same thing as 3/8 with 16 threads per inch. A 3/8 coarse thread is 16 threads per inch, and that's where you would get 3/8 by 16. If I'm not greatly, that's what these are. That should have the same thread pitch. So a fine threaded bolt that is twice the size of a coarse threaded bolt has the same thread pitch. I just discovered that myself. So a quarter 20 coarse thread would be the same as a half 20 fine thread would be the thread pitch. Anyway, so on a standard bolt, your thread pitch is the number of threads per inch. Alright? And on a metric bolt, it is the actual width of the thread in millimeter. So this is a 16 millimeter bolt that has a thread pitch of 0 millimeters, somewhere around 2.0, I think. 2.25, 16 by 2.25 is probably what it is, but it's the actual length of the measurement from the top of the thread to the top of the thread adjacent to it. And how you tell a metric bolt is, a metric bolt has a number written on it. This one is a grade 8.8, which is, I think, the same as a grade 5 bolt in a standard. Like I said, this is a grade 8 standard, which has the lines in it. All standard bolts, if they have a grade, they will have lines in them telling you that what their grade is. That is your indication as to whether it's a standard bolt or a metric bolt. All metric bolts will have a number on them. An 8.8, I think it's 10.9 is the next size, and then there's an 11 point something, but there will be a number on it, like 8.8 or 10.9 or something like that, and that will be your indication that it's actually a metric threaded bolt. So that's half your battle, deciding whether it's standard or metric. The other part is, let's see, 0, and we've got this set to millimeters. This is, it should be a 16 millimeter bolt, but it measures 17. Huh, that's supposed to be a 16. Maybe it is not a 16, maybe it's an 18 millimeter bolt. This one is definitely a 3/4, yeah, so that measures 3/4. I thought I measured this bolt and it measured, yeah, I'm not sure, I'm thinking that's probably a 16 millimeter bolt. but it doesn't measure 16 millimeter. It measures somewhere closer to 17. But it's just north of 16 if it is. All right, so so we take this, for example, this is a 10, and I think 10, let's see, we have, actually I have some 12s that are still in the package. I think this is a 10 millimeter by probably, oh, I'm back in inches. 0 millimeters, 10 millimeter by 150, 10 150. So that's like your coarse 10 millimeter bolt. And as you'll notice, if you can see the grade on it, it's a 8.8. So that's a metric bolt. It measures 9.8, 9.74. So it's 10 millimeter by 150. And then I have several packages here. This is a 12 150, which is the fine thread 12 millimeter bolt. And no, I mean the coarse thread millimeter. No, what's that? That's not right. I don't think it's packaged right. No, oh, it is. And there's a 12 175. This is the coarse thread. So that's just some stuff I had laying around. Like I said, that's a standard bolt that is a grade 5. You can see it has 3 lines on it. That's a grade 5. This is a metric bolt that is a grade 8.8. This is a standard bolt that is a grade 8. It has 6 lines on it. This is a metric bolt that is a grade 8.8. It's hard to read because it was rusty, but that is your 3 most popular metric bolts. This is a 8 125, 8 by 125 thread pitch. That means the thread pitch is 1.25 millimeters, and it's a 8 millimeter bolt. Like I said, the other one is going to be your 10. You'll see a lot of 10s, 10 150s. You'll see a lot of 6 millimeter bolt by 1 millimeter thread pitch. You know, that's the one that uses a 10. You know, everybody jokes about losing the 10 millimeter socket. That's a 6 millimeter bolt, 1 millimeter thread pitch. And I don't think I really have anything else. That's a grade 8, and that's 3/4 by 16. Or is, I mean 3/8. Is it 16? Hang on a minute. Yeah, guys, I was telling you right on that. It is 3/8 by your 3/8 is a thread pitch of 16, which is there's 16 threads per inch. This is easy to find. If you have a tap and die set, you should have, and I do not have a metric tap and die set. I think this is only a standard. Yeah, so you have a set of, if you have a tap and die set, you'll have a thread gauge, and that will tell you what your thread pitch is on your bolt. The last 3/8 by 16. And where did that 3/4 bolt go? So I'm curious as to what it is. I think it was 11. But those are very handy tools to have. If you don't have those, oh, I'm sorry. It was a fine thread, so it's the same thread pitch as the coarse thread 3/8 bolt. It's 16 threads per inch. So that was what I was going to show you. I don't have a metric set of tap and dies. Not in the shop anyway. I have one on the van. I don't have one in the shop. But this is a very handy tool to have. Like I said, you can get an idea about what size your shank is. If you've got this, you can figure out what your thread pitch is. if you've been doing it as long as I have, then you know, basically know what your thread pitch is, or can look at a bolt and say, oh yeah, that's a 3/8 coarse threaded bolt. You know, it's a standard bolt, and it's 3/8 and it's coarse thread, because I mean, fine threads are on a 3/8 bolt is I'm not sure, not 24. Anyway. But anyway, that's what I know about bolts. Like I said, the big thing to take away is your standard bolts have lines on them, and that's how that's how you see what the grade is on it. And the metric bolts will have a number for your grade on it, and that way at least you kind of know whether you got a standard bolt or a metric bolt. And other than that, it's just, you know, finding the right thread pitch for the right bolt. Yeah, like I was saying, I see a lot of people struggle with you know, bolt sizes. When I'm going to buy bolts, you see people always fiddling with the little thing. Is it standard? Is it metric? And I'm like, look, man, you can see, just look, has it got a number on it? It's metric. If it doesn't have a number on it, it's standard. I mean, unless it's some cheap stuff, like, you know, you get Harbor Freight stuff or these truckload sale tools and stuff, they got cheap bolts on them. You know, they got no grade to them. You can go to the Tractor Supply store or anywhere else that sells bolts, and they'll have your grade 5, your grade 8, and then they'll have a grade, you know, 3 that has no grade on them, nothing on them. Stainless bolts, you won't be able to tell a stainless bolt, you know, without actually, you know, knowing, you know, you'll have to measure a stainless bolt. And then you have different grades of stainless. You know, if you're going to have a boat on the water, like, you know, we have our boat down 30 miles from the actual ocean, you know, and it's in brackish water, and it's probably closer to actual seawater than brackish where our boat is. Stainless bolt from the box store ain't gonna last. You know, you got to have the right grade of stainless to keep it in that salt water. So, anyway, that's all I have. I know this was kind of a long, boring talk. I appreciate y'all watching. I'm actually recording this video the same day I'm working on my car. We've gotten pretty good getting ready to get it set up. I'm going to make some brackets and get that drive shaft mounted in the middle of the car, and, you know, rocking on the car. And I just wanted to, while I was getting the right bolts installed in the car, and, you know, wanted to share that little bit of information with you. Appreciate y'all watching. Like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. See y'all later.